It's James.
And Stephanie.
And Steph, did you ever wonder what it would be like if our Echo had a larger, swankier brother?
I was just wondering that the other day.
Well, funny you should mention that because here we have the new View 24R.
Guys, I am so excited to show you this, and you're going to see why. It reminds me a lot of our Echo, but with some big differences.
It's a little more refined. It's a very nice.
Yeah.
So, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's
Let's
go
do
check it out. And like all our other RV reviews, we're starting on the passenger side because change is hard.
Well, I can only work with the clips that I've got.
All right, here's some aluminum wheels. That's very nice.
Yes, they're not wheel simulators. They're actual aluminum wheels.
And there's a cab over bunk on this one, but you can also get a low profile, sportier front cap there.
Yep. Running board on the passenger side, a little one with the pet loop, front and back. Now, the door locking, little time here because this has central locking. That means when you hit the key fob for the Mercedes,
Yes.
It'll lock that door as well.
Excellent.
There's a park cable input, 120 volt power on the outside, and this is the Truma AquaGo. This is what's used for hot water. It's a propane appliance. We've used them before.
Yes, it's very nice.
It's very nice. You can take a nice long shower with that one.
Yes.
Now, the first of our exterior storage compartments, and it's a pretty big compartment. And there's also some pretty interesting stuff in it. So there's the size, there's a light, which I really like.
Yeah.
And then there's the inverter up top. That is a Xantrex Freedom Pro 2000 inverter.
Okay, great.
The windows are all dual pane acrylic windows.
Nice.
And we really like the
Yes.
dual pane acrylic windows. They're very thermally effective. Here we go, thumbs up. And then there's this thing. We had not. This is the first one of these
We had to
seen.
ask, what is this?
Mercedes blind spot monitor.
Yeah, okay.
Propane quick connect that goes to the rather large propane tank that we'll see on the other side. And this is a heater, Dometic heater right there.
Okay.
And it's a Dometic, not a Truma, for a reason that we'll show you on the inside.
Okay.
Now, I was feeling really lucky. So I actually took it on myself to try to put out the awning, and I don't have good luck with awnings. That's putting it mildly. But there we go.
I do like the look of it, how it's like molded into the side of the RV.
It's very
looks
sleek
nice.
looking
Yes.
that way. It looks like it's part of it, not like bolted on in the end.
Yep.
And now, drum roll, please. The most important part of this RV,
Oh,
if
yes.
you ask us.
This is a selling feature for us. We really like this. The gear garage.
Big enough to walk in and turn around in. I don't know if y'all caught that, but I turned around inside the gear garage.
Well, and like our Echo, it has the 3 doors to get in it. That is so handy, depending on the situation that you're parked in, that you can access it from all sides like that.
Yeah, so if somebody parks up close on your right, you can still get stuff out of the left or out of the back, etc.
Yes.
And again, really big gear garage.
And it's not just totally empty space. There's stuff back here to check out, too.
Yeah, well, that one's just a big panel. I don't know what's behind there. But on each side, there's something like this. There's a 12-volt outlet, a 120-volt outlet, and a light. And also, around the gear garage, I think there's just bits of L-track. Now, it doesn't run all the way across like it does in our Echo. There's bits here, and then there are bits, and I don't know how you filmed this. I'm getting dizzy watching. But there's a bit in the center, and then there's a bit towards the other door.
So across the top, there's like 6 little bits.
6
that
bits
you
of
can
gear
use
garage.
to mount stuff.
Yeah, and so you could use that to mount things like bikes or whatever.
Yeah.
Now that is a heating duct, so this is a heated gear
Nice,
garage.
nice.
Yep. Now here's the other light and not USB, but 12 volt and 120 volt panel on this side. And then also in here there is park cable input if you're RVing in the 1990s. There's also an input for solar panels. So how would you use that if the doors are closed? Well, there's a convenient little hole.
Yeah,
down here
this
in the
was
floor.
a nice feature having that right there, so you don't have to leave your door hanging open.
Exactly. So there's that. Now, this is a return air so that the heater can push air into the back. Otherwise, it would be pressurizing the back.
Of course.
And now this, we have a fresh tank drain.
Okay, now this tells me that the fresh tank is above the floor, because if that's the drain, then the floor is, you can see that horizontal trim, black trim there.
Yeah.
So it's got to be above that, right?
That is very, very astute. Well
Yes.
done, Stephanie. And there's some insulation in here. So they do mean for this, and I think I talked to one of the Winnebagans, they said it was good down to 10 degrees, I think. Not minus 10, but 10.
Okay, that's pretty good.
3-point locking on the doors, on all 3 doors of the gear garage. So there's one there in the middle, there's one at the top, and there's one at the bottom. And you'll see here, we've got the latches, 1, 2, 3, on the gear garage.
Well, that's great. Extra security is always a benefit.
And now we've moved around to the back of the coach. And that up top, that's the camera for the rear view camera and also the backup camera.
And you're looking at the hitch here now.
Yeah, that's a Class 3 hitch, 5,000 pound capacity with a 7-pin wiring harness. Now, over here on the driver's side, we've got the shore power connection. That's 30 amp shore power. There is the dump light. There's a pump switch there,
well,
too.
It is handy having a light there when you're dealing with things after dark.
Yeah. Mystery compartment with a lock. I think that's just a gravity fill.
Yes.
Okay, there's a valve to direct the fresh water to either normal usage or to tank fill. There is an exterior shower with hot and cold.
Nice.
And there are the handles for the dump valves, the black and gray waste valves. And over on the door, there's a little handle, so you could like mount the shower head there if you were like going to
You could just
there.
Yep, wash off the dog's paws,
All right,
anything
now,
like that.
here we have the freshwater tank inlet and the black water tank flush. They're both black and they're right next to each other, so do read the labels before hooking up.
You don't want to mix that one up.
To one of those. Okay, now down here there is the dump exit, and right next to that is a sewer hose storage tube, and that one's one of the big ones. I think it'll fit with all the fittings in there.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Okay. Moving a little bit further forward, this one does have a slide.
Yep. This is the only slide, this one. And under it, there's a couple cabinets here. What do we got here?
This is mechanical stuff. First, there's the propane tank. That is a 12.2 gallon. There we go. 12.2 gallon propane tank. And there is the head unit for the leveling jacks, or hydraulic levelers.
Nice.
There's hydraulic fluid in there so you can get
We
it level.
love having leveling jacks.
Oh, yeah. Now, forward of that, there is the compartment for the generator. This is a different generator. This is a flex power 4,000 watt inverter generator. So it's quieter, more efficient. It should only run as fast as it needs to.
That's great.
But it goes up to like 35 amps or something
Yeah,
really big
it's
like that.
really large. And it's not green in color. It's
Of all things, we note the color. So here we have the cap. We'll see that on the inside because that would be Mel's in our coach. Now, underneath here, we've got the clearance picture. Not too bad. You can see the leveler jacks. I think those would be probably the lowest point you'd have to worry about if you were to take this thing off-road. Now, we are going to go around to the back and get up top. Now, it did not come with this ladder. I borrowed this ladder from the Travato that we just reviewed to see what's on the roof. Now, wait, at the very front, there is a powered fan. Behind that, there's a Truma Aventa air conditioner.
Ah, the Truma air conditioner.
Yeah.
Okay.
TV antenna, skylight on the left, another fan on the right, some roof vents, and then a pretty significant junction box there for solar panels. Now, these panels are just glued down, but there is room. I see a third set of inputs there that you could add a third panel. It would be in parallel. One more thing on the roof I wanted to show, coming in from the bottom left, that I believe is the antenna for the WinConnect. That's a coach control system that's sort of internet enabled, and that's the antenna that you need for the modem.
And look, it's me now.
And you're going to be showing us the
Oh,
inside.
good, because the inside is definitely worth checking out.
All right, so now it's pretty standard RV screen door with a latch that attaches to the other door. Here's your view as you walk towards the inside.
Yes, and this is in the slide, and you can also get those two chairs as a sofa. As another option.
Now, this color scheme is called hygge or something to that effect.
Yeah, and that's that Danish word, that Norwegian word that means cozy feeling, and they really ran with it in this.
It's a very warm color palette. Oh, there was a screen on the door, just so you don't have to have that open all the time.
All right, checking out the bedroom area now, and this looks very familiar to us. It's a lot like our Echo, but
a little bit bigger.
Definitely bigger, a lot more storage.
A lot swankier feeling, I think.
Yes, more refined. I'd say the Echo is more sporty looking, but...
All right, so now you've made this into one large bed with those pieces that were stored in the back there, and it turns out into a fairly large bed. And I'll point out, you didn't have to do anything. You didn't have to like pull anything out or latch anything when you went to put that bed down. Those panels just plopped in place.
And depending on your size, you have options here. You could sleep sideways.
Yeah, if you're not too tall, you could sleep sideways for sure.
Yeah.
Now, when you pull those out, this one has like a big tray, like snack tray, I want to say, or like cup holders or something on the bottom.
Yeah, that's convenient.
So now storage in the bedroom, and there's quite a lot of it. So on the driver's side here, we have two cabinets that are connected via a pass-through. It's not a full height pass-through.
Yeah, you can get some longer things through there, so it gives you a little more flexibility.
This one has something extra on the top. I believe that is the router for the WinConnect system.
Ah, okay.
So alert for future hackers. That's where you go to hack. Anyway,
120 volt here, 12 volt. What else?
USB A and C in this
Great.
coach.
And I was looking for a switch on the light, but it's a momentary switch right next to it. And this is part of that Win Connect. So you could actually turn the light on with your phone, with the panel up front, or that switch.
And the cabinets continue all the way across the back. There's two, similar construction. There's a pass-through. Lots and lots of cabinets. And they didn't stop there. Like even the space in the corners, because you can't put doors
Right,
there.
right. They just left it open like that. I like that.
Netted area. Now, we're only going to show this once, but the windows and the window treatments on all of the windows are the same. It's a typical cassette blind system. There's a shade up from the bottom, screen down from the top.
Yep. And then these windows, they latch awning style, just like this. And then they kind of ratchet into place. And I think there's like 3 or 4 different positions it will hold into.
Yeah. And there's also a vent setting on the clips there across the bottom. You can put them in there and it'll hold the window open like just a crack, like a quarter inch.
Yeah, and we use that all the time. It's a great setting to have. It's handy.
Yep. TV at the foot of the bed on the driver's side. There's 120 volt and the connectivity for the TV.
Oh, and I'm showing the headboard here, and I really like this. It's more of that refined, polished look that the View Navions have. It's a nice touch.
Yeah, definitely. And if you didn't have enough cabinets already, we got more cabinets coming here down the passenger side of the rig. And some light switches, so you can control the lights there in the bedroom, up in the front. There's some mood lighting I think you're going to hit.
Yeah, and here, there's also one we couldn't figure out in the moment, but we eventually figured out.
Yeah.
It's
It's down below.
nightlight.
You'll see it in a sec. Yes. All right, now, storage under the beds. They each have a drawer. It's a fairly large drawer. And there is room to fit your feet, so you're not going to decapitate your feet when you open the drawer. And it's the same on both sides, so both fairly large drawers.
Yes.
Now, a little bit forward of that, there are cabinets with like hanging rods. So if you wanted to hang things, you could hang them in there. A lot of people in the Echo community have built out shelves and stuff under there. There's some mechanicals under there we'll get to later, but 2 large kind of wardrobe-ish
Yeah, storage
cabinets.
is not lacking in this RV.
And down here on the floor, we have these mats in the back. They're rubber-backed. They're not going to go sliding around. Up front, the whole floor is made out of that material. Here in the back, you have the mats.
And I'm showing the air return here. There's one on each of the steps, and that is the nightlight. That's the mystery switch.
Yes, you can turn off the mystery switch so the night light doesn't come on.
All right, we're moving forward to the bathroom, and this bathroom is on both sides of the RV.
Yeah, it's a full-up dry bath. So on this side, which is on the passenger side, this is sort of the lavatory side, right? So there's the toilet. That's sort of the overview.
Yeah.
There's a little medicine cabinet up here over the window, decent size. And then right next to that, there is another medicine cabinet with a mirror on it. Yeah, so plenty of space to store your whatever. Oil rub bronze. Look at this undermount sink
Yes,
in the
that's
RV.
a very nice touch.
Yeah, again, it's the upscale thing coming into play.
Yes, indeed.
And we've got storage down here underneath, and there's not a whole lot of other stuff taking up space in here. There's some piping up top, but other than that, pretty much storage space. One other thing I wanted to show about this medicine cabinet, there's this little pass-through kind of thing. And I think that's so that you could take like a razor or something and you could charge it. And then you could like maybe go driving and you wouldn't have to leave your medicine cabinet open or have your razor.
Okay.
Or a toothbrush, electric toothbrush maybe, something like that. There's the outlet that you would use to power whatever was up there. And there's a water heater switch and a water pump switch.
At a handy place right at the sink where it should be.
Yeah, and you'll see that all throughout this coach. Any place where you might use water, there's a water pump switch.
Oh, it's a macerating toilet, right? That's what that
A
panel
macerating
is for?
toilet, indeed.
Okay.
Some light switches, controls for the toilet. Who knew? Now there is a heating duct in here, so the bathroom is in fact heated, so you won't be cold in there. And now I'm going across the hall to the driver's side of the coach, and this is where the shower is. And it's a decent size shower for a compact coach. It's got a skylight, so there's plenty of headroom, with the exception of that hanging rod thing that's kind of in the way there.
And I think you're about to remove it just
Yeah,
to demonstrate.
it comes right out. It's
Yeah.
not.
But it is handy having that there if you had long things you needed to hang.
Yeah, I worry though that if we traveled with that, then we'd wind up using this for storage, and then we'd have to move things every time we wanted to take a shower. I don't know. To each his own.
That's right.
Use it as you will. Anyway, that's the shower. It's kind of nice, kind of swanky. It's got one of these film. What do you call that? A squeegee film?
I don't know, but it's very lightweight, so it's great for RVs, saving on weight.
Yep. And 3 towel racks, or towel bars, I suppose, on the back of the door. And now I'm going to show you the coolest thing about this bathroom. You can open both doors. They stick there. And now you've got sort of a whole complete bathroom all across the coach.
You get a really large bathroom for a compact coach with this cross bathroom setup like this.
So now I'm backing up into the lavatory part. There's a view of the shower. Now I'm backing up into the shower. Yes. There's a view of the lavatory part. And it's like this whole space for just you. So there you go. Full bathroom. Probably the coolest thing about this coach, I think, besides the garage.
And we're moving on to the galley now, starting with this big fridge. And this fridge is in the slide.
Yep, and it is not, even though it's kind of big, it is not an absorption fridge. This is a compressor-driven fridge. So there's no venting, there's no ammonia solution or anything like that. It'll get cold fast, it'll maintain temperatures more reliably, etc.
Great.
TV across from the fridge, where it is easy to be seen by the people in the recliners. We will get to those recliners in a moment.
And this sink, it was very big. It was deep, and it's going to be quite functional.
Yeah, and there's a pull-out sprayer, so you should be able to handle dishes without a problem. You really liked this counter, the
burners.
cooktop.
I like that you have induction and you have propane both. Gives you options depending on your camping situation.
And if you have countertop appliances, there is a pull-up outlet right there.
All right, and this is that the water
pump switch. Again, okay. Right next to where you're going to use the water. So, like I said, throughout the coach, you're going to find that.
Great. Storage
under here. And, is that a Culligan 600A water filter? If it is, I believe it is.
You're not going to do it. Don't do it.
Come on.
Don't do it.
So we make and sell a Fit RV version of a replacement cartridge for that filter. So if you want one, come see us.
Shameless plug for your own product.
Convection microwave in the galley here. But in all seriousness, it's a great filter. Anyway, convection microwave. And now we're coming down to show some of the drawers.
And they pull out all the way. Ooh, and these had soft close too. I'm sure I'll show that.
There we go. Boom, boom, boom. But since they soft close, they don't like clink when you latch them like they do in our Echo.
Yes, it's very satisfying.
Yeah, so they've built something else here. You're showing the countertop extension there.
Yeah.
But see that little silver knob there? That one. That locks the cabinets in place. So now with it locked
I really like
that,
this.
Boom,
look at that.
They're not going to open up on you while you drive. The soft close and the positive locking, it's the best of both worlds. I kind of like it.
Me too.
Yeah. There you go. Very good. Okay. Now, the power dual recliner.
Yes.
So first, there's a table. This table can move to other places in the coach. We'll get to that in a bit. There is more storage, more cabinetry above the recliner. The design of this cabinet should not be a surprise to anyone watching this video.
Yeah, it's just like the cabinets in the bedroom.
Yep, and it's pass through, and you can store a lot in there. Again, momentary switches for reading lights on each of those recliner positions. And over here, there are the 12-volt and USB A and C outlets. And that's throughout this rig. There's USB A and C.
There are a lot of outlets throughout this rig.
So now what you're doing here is I sent you on a hunt because this actually has seat belts for these two positions. Yes. And you finally found them. So it's probably not something you're going to use every day, but if you've got someone that needs to come with you and you need to belt them in, there you go. It's only a lap belt. There's not a shoulder belt.
Well, there's two of them as well, but yes, it's just lap, not shoulder belt as well.
Yep. And there they are, and they do work. Okay. Now, two of them.
Showing
there
two.
You go. Now, I left this like normal speed to show the recliner. This is how fast it goes out, and we'll show you the same thing coming in. But it goes all the way to like a, what do they call it? Like a zero gravity kind of position
yes,
there.
It's very comfortable too.
And I noticed that there's yet more. These are just USB-A, but there's more USB outlets on your power dual recliner.
Yes, there are so many throughout here.
So many creature comforts. And now the chair, we're showing the chair going back in. That's actual speed. We don't speed these up.
Yeah.
So there you go. Now, this is the table. We've moved it to another position. So in this position, it's more like better able to be used by people sitting in the front seats that are turned around. That other one, the driver's seat does turn around. We just didn't because we're lazy, I guess. But Notice the cab of the Sprinter is a little bit below the floor level, so to make up for that, you've got this like a booster seat kind of thing.
Yes.
Sit on there when you've got them turned around. There's a strap so that it won't come off.
Right. So if you're going to use the table, it gets you more up to level of the table.
There's also Becky.
Oh, Becky. Becky's an Echo owner.
Yes, and something tells me this is not the first of our videos that she's been featured in.
Every RV show for Winnebago.
There's some storage up here in the wing wall, and again, it's color coordinated and accented to match with the Huga color scheme. There's the fire extinguisher, and now nope, you are not going to do that. That is mine. So
this is a man cave. Is that what this is?
It's more like a fort, really.
Oh, a fort. Okay.
I would spend time up here. The cat would spend probably 90% of his time up here. I don't know that you would ever get up there. That's the view from up top.
Yep. It's very open and spacious floor plan.
Very cat-like view from up there. But there's stuff up here. So there's an air conditioning duct. And you're going to need that because, we all know heat rises, right?
Yeah.
So there's a reading light up here. There is a window, which actually opens. There are 2 windows. There's one on each side, and they open. And you'd want that for ventilation, especially if you're going to be hanging out up there.
Yes.
Most people probably wouldn't be up there themselves. They would save it for kids. Those kids would have devices. They can charge the devices from up in here.
All sorts of devices can be charged.
12 volt, USB A and C, and 120 volt.
And a privacy curtain.
Yeah, and I swear, there used to be a Tim Conway bit where he would do like a shortened version of himself. That's what that reminds me of. Okay. There's a ceiling fan that's right up there. And, this is kind of important. That is hinged. So if you're driving along and you want to be able to get in and out of the cab easily, you just flip that up. And now there is plenty of room to walk through without banging your head.
Yes, it's just more open and spacious and nice for driving.
And now we're going to go over some mechanical stuff.
My favorite.
So this is the circuit breaker panel. That's where your 120 volt circuit breakers are. Under the bed on the passenger side, there's this compartment with, I'd have to get an electrical diagram to tell you what those boxes are, but there's also heating ducts, some water piping under there. And we have another cabinet on the driver's side with a lot of plumbing connections. It looks like some low point drains, tank drains, that sort of thing. This was interesting. They put Froley springs across the back between the beds.
Yeah, Echoes have Froley springs, but ours didn't have them on the middle section like that.
And those, just if you don't know what they are, they add some spring cushiony, and they also aerate the mattress, some airflow underneath.
Yeah.
Now, both the wardrobe-ish compartments on the driver and passenger side, they have this lid, so you can just lift it and access it from the top. That's actually convenient because in our Echo we have something similar, and we use one of them as a laundry hamper.
Yeah, it's really handy having that top loading ability.
Yep. So now we're looking at the ducts. This is ducted air conditioning, and that is a Truma Aventa. This is actually, I think, the first ducted Truma Aventa install I've seen in Winnebago.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And don't forget, there's one up in the there's one in the bathroom.
Yes.
And then there's one up in the clubhouse for boys and cats up in the over the cab. And that is a ceiling fan in the bathroom. You'll see how we control that in a bit. Another access panel here under the sink. Looks like some valves. What do we got there? Solenoid. I'd have to get a wiring diagram to tell you exactly what all of that is. Now, plumbing valves behind that there for winterization, so you'd need to get to that in order to winterize. Here's the Wind Connect. So now, Wind Connect is a coach control and monitor system. Everything in the coach is integrated, and you can use it from this panel. There is a component that you can run from your phone.
Yes, it's very exciting. Winnebago created it themselves, so you can turn on your heat from wherever you are. You can check your levels. You can turn on your lights. There's so much that you can do from it.
It can even do cool stuff like try to use the fan to keep cool, but then if it gets too hot, close the fan and turn on the air conditioning. It can do that. So it can do pretty advanced stuff like that. Okay. A touch panel for some of the lighting groups that we have, like there's the lounge area, I think, everything on, everything off.
And again, you can do this from your phone, from the Wind Connect system as
or
well.
from the touch panel up above.
Right.
And there's another touch panel to control the jacks, the leveling jacks that we have. And then this is for the awnings. We sort of saw this at the beginning. There's a coach battery cutoff switch, and then a light for the steps. Under the steps is where we have the battery. This is a 320 amp hour lithium ion battery from Lithionics.
And it's very familiar to us because we have 5 of this
We-
exact same battery.
We have a few of these batteries, and we like it. Okay, Mercedes cab. Nothing too much unique here, except every time I see these, I just love these rear view camera things. I think that kind of mirror should just be mandatory on all these large vehicles. I like it so much. If I ran things, it would be mandatory.
I would love that too.
Okay. Keyless, that's the key, right? There's no metal key that goes with it. It's just a key fob. And there's probably not a whole lot I'm going to educate anyone about with a Sprinter. We do have cat skin leather seats, though.
Ooh, yes, we like that. We actually had ours, a cat skin aftermarket, put in for our Echo.
Actually, come watch the video if you want to see how that's done.
Yeah.
Now, the Sprinter cab is very good for tall people. That's what I was showing there. And here we see the GVWR. We have 804 pounds of cargo capacity.
Okay.
On the driver's side here, we have the diesel fill, not the DEF. The DEF's under the hood. And we have another set of stickers for the GVWR, in case you forgot, since you walked over from the passenger side.
Oh, look how happy you look. I know what's coming next.
Yep, I'm going underneath.
Yeah, your RV happy place.
Yep. All right, so now you see where I'm going underneath, and now I'm looking forward. And so you can see there the fuel tank on the left, the exhaust over there. You see the jacks. There's the underside of the generator. There's the propane tank. Usually when I go under here, I'm looking for water lines or stuff that might freeze. So far, haven't seen any. There's the reservoir for the hydraulic fluid. Now we're looking rearwards towards the back wheels. A lot easier to get under Sprinters, by the way, than some of the
clearance.
other RVs. Yeah.
Sure.
So now we're looking backwards. You can see the suspension components there and some more jacks towards the rear of the vehicle. That is the underside of the battery box, and then right next to it, where the big breaker and whatnot was, that's where those wires are going from A to B. And they're rotomolded plastic compartments. I kind of like that.
There's a
There's
tank.
a big tank. Now, I'm guessing that one's the gray tank because it's kind of a ways away from the other side.
Okay.
But I didn't actually test out my theory. And that one, it looks like it's got a black tank flush on it, that brass fitting right there.
Oh, so that would make sense.
I'm guessing that's the black tank. But the important thing is they both have heating pads on them.
Good.
So for good and the cold.
I'm going to come join you back here. This looks kind of fun.
All right, I've got room for you and like 5 more in this here garage.
Come on, join us.
So you can see why we're kind of on board with this View 24R floor plan. It has a lot of similarities to the Echo that we're currently in.
Except for a little bit more refined, more luxurious, like those seats up front.
The power reclining easy chair with USB outlets. Who knew you needed such a thing?
And the slide gives you more space when you're set up.
Winnebago Connect, if you want to operate the coach while you're away from it. Lots of good stuff here, lots of reasons to look at this. So if you have any questions or comments, there will be a post on the Fit RV. We'll link to it down in the YouTube description down below. And you can come on over there. If you have questions, we'll try to get them answered for you. Or if you just like to comment and chat about it, that's where we'll be.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Bye.